What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, we do have a couple data points that could really help the broader market move higher, and in turn, a lot of these speculative stocks even further. But we do have existing home sales at 9 a.m. alongside Michigan consumer sentiment. Last time that did come out, which was on February the 7th, it actually was very negative, so it prompted a pullback. But with the expectations right now of 67.8, it is fair to assume that this in turn will really move up higher. So once again, that is coming out at 9 a.m. and could really help these stocks. So in case you are new to the channel, I don't just choose the most heavily shorted stocks. It's a combination of recent price action as well as kind of some short components, and then I organize it based on short score. So again, just because I'm going in order doesn't mean it's top 5 or number 1, 2 or whatever else. But with that said, let's get right to it. Stock number 5, you have SMCI, so super micro computer, and it's been gaining some pretty good momentum. So over the last 1 month, up 82.47%. And there's a lot of good information here that I'm not necessarily going to go over. If you are curious and don't know who they are, this is the company profile, so feel free to pause it and read through it, but don't necessarily go over that on these types of videos. But 19.61% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 98.17 million shares overall are being shorted. Essentially works out to be $5.82 billion. So kind of crazy stuff. But DTC 1.27 days. Short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 67.41. And so shorts as well have been fairly reactive, so went from around 16% short interest to a peak of almost 20, and so shorts have been really doubling down as the stock price has been moving up. Looking at this, so there's around 7.3 million shares available to be shorted through IBKR. So if shorts really wanted to double down, they definitely could, but it's might be a losing game. So I think essentially a lot of them might be starting to return, especially even more so on a Friday. So let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to stock number 4, Celsius. So even though on like a bigger picture, it hasn't really gained that much momentum on the stock price. So it's down 59% over the last 1 year. Over the last 5 days, it is up 12%, but that is not encumbering this that is going to come today. So it is up right now 32.51% because of their earnings. And they did announce a acquisition as well of 1.8 billion. So that could potentially put things shorts in a very difficult scenario. This is what they do in case you don't know. So once again, feel free to pause it, but 26% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 38.52 million shares overall are being shorted. DTC, this is also another one of those things that I filter through. Needs to be at least above 1, ideally, given the circumstances, but 4.76 is very, very high. Shorts already pre-market are reacting to that 33% increase this morning, and they're increasing 633,000 shares. So I'm filming this pre-market Friday on an FYI, but short score 72.16, and through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 3.6 million shares. The reason why I do bring this up is if you have a stock that is limited supply, you could see some buying as a byproduct of that, as big money likes to buy and lend out those stocks. So won't necessarily be happening with Celsius or SMCI on a side note, but this is stock number 4. Moving on to stock number 3, you have MLGO, ticker A or MLGO. Don't know where I got that from, but it is up a very impressive 193% so far this morning. So it looks as though things might get very, very real. Similarly to Celsius, over the last 1 year, it is down 99.3%. So not necessarily the best, but it is starting to build some pretty good momentum, as you can kind of see. Plus, now up 206% so far pre-market. This is what they do, so feel free to pause it and read through it. But 8.18% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 800,000 shares. So like I said, even though you don't have, it's not the most heavily shorted stock. The combination of everything is going to put it in a very unique circumstance to really squeeze the shorts. Even though there's only 800,000 shares available to be shorted, that's exactly what the kind of market does like to squeeze. Somewhat heavily shorted and then also a low float. So this meets that criteria. Short score is 73.18, and then through IBKR does indicate roughly around 80,000 shares is available to be shorted. So today you could see some buying as a like byproduct of everything. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving on to stock number 2. This one's been on this list quite often. It's never had a official crazy mother of all short squeezes, but like I said, the combination of everything that like I look at does really push stocks even further. So as of right now, Reborn Coffee did go up 30% yesterday. It's pulling back slightly today, so 3.55%, but with this good data that is coming out at 9 a.m., this is where you could see continue to push higher. And in case you don't know what they do, this is it. So food retail, founded in 2014, but over the last 1 year, up 308%. Over the last 1 month, up 374%. So definitely this is why you need to add these to your watch list, because they generally do have a very nice run. But aside from that, it is on the threshold list, has been on the threshold list. It looks as though since February the 5th for the most part. So after 13 consecutive days, the SEC should be going after the market makers, getting them to rectify that. So again, that could be happening. Short score is 80.47, so fairly high for that. 18.99% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 393,000 shares. So pretty much, as I mentioned with micro algo, kind of heavily shorted, low float. That's perfect circumstances for a squeeze. And then through IBKR, it does indicate roughly around 1,000 shares. So most likely you'll see some buying today, as big money wants to take advantage of these crazy cost to borrows. So 530.88. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate, on a side note. So just be kind of aware of that. But moving on to stock number 1, you have ticker JTAI. So it did go down 27.59%. yesterday, down 3.95 so far this morning. Over the last 1 year, it is down 96.52. So this is why, once again, you need to do your own due diligence. Obviously, kind of manage accordingly, because the stock price itself hasn't been that great. Over the last 5 days, it is definitely gaining some pretty good momentum, though, on a side note. So it is up 51.88%. But 43.8% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 533,000 shares. Short score 80.83, and you can kind of see from this, shorts have been very, very reactive to the stock price. So with it going up 50 something percent, they went from around, it looks like the low in January was 4.52 to a peak of, looks like 43.5, or I guess right now is the high, so 43.8. So definitely this is one to add to your watch list. Through IBKR does indicate only 100 shares is available to be shorted. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Is there any other squeeze plays that you're watching? And so throw some tickers in the description below. I'll do another updated one I'll put it out for Sunday for this type of video, and so you can kind of have some expectations for this upcoming week. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon, where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.